despite popular belief, I have actually been out in the garage working on stuff. I know it's been a couple weeks. Haven't been doing a lot, but just tedious stuff. I hit kind of a stopping point because there was one piece of the puzzle I was missing. Well, actually, a couple pieces. One big piece I was missing. And the other thing was I was going to start making the header, getting the turbo situated and building the header. Some of the material I ordered showed up. It was the wrong size. It wasn't what I ordered. I'll be able to use that for other projects down the road, I'm sure. Tubing always comes in handy for stuff. But kind of got to reattack getting all that material coming again. But for now, because I got a big piece of the puzzle finally, I'm going to go through that, and we can kind of start putting things together for the final time now, which is awesome because in relatively short order, I should be able to have this thing back together and just about complete, minus building the header. Well, build the header, mount the wastegate, build the pipe, exhaust, and build the last little segment of the charge tube. But it's all kind of, we'll call that all like kind of one project because that kind of all has to get done at the same time. It's all intermingled. But I did manage to finally pick up my motor. And this is the first time I will be running a motor that I didn't build. And I'm not worried about it because this actually seems like a pretty decent unit. I'm not breaking this thing down entirely, but I'm 3 days deep right now into going through it and just looking things over. But I'll get you guys in closer and show you kind of what I got. So here she be. This is the motor I'm going to run. Nothing exotic. It's a Gen 1 Busa motor, stock crank. It's got Wassner rods, JE pistons. Unsure of the cams. I'm going to put a dial indicator on them and run the motor around. We'll see what we got for lift. That should tell me kind of what I'm working with. I bought it with no clutch. Got a nice clutch cover out of it, but there's no clutch in there. I'm going to run a MTC Gen 2, so I'll have to get one of them coming eventually. Kind of waiting on the whole tax return scenario to play out. But yeah, I mean, the trans has been cut. Bunch of good parts in here. It's just a real basic, solid unit. It's, from what I've seen so far, what I've gone through, it's really clean. And what I've been spending time doing is going through all the hardware, looking for any like stripped threads, bad threads, mismatched bolts, just stuff that's not of my handiwork. And I'm not really finding anything wrong with it. I went through the oil pump to make sure that looked good, to make sure no junk has gone through the oil system. It does have a really nice Macintosh wedge pan on it, that's a nice unit. What else? I got back there is the oil cooler relocator, which will give me a little more room up in the front for how I kind of want to build the header. I still, like I said, I don't know if I'm going to go full blown side mount or if we're just going to do a hybrid traditional with a shift thing. But yeah, I mean, I've been just chasing threads, replacing hardware with stuff. I like when certain things come apart that they're all of the same like head design, so I can buzz things off with one tool. I did order some titanium hardware for the clutch cover just because cool, right? I had titanium valve cover bolts. I swapped them out, but we'll get the valve cover off and run through the cams quick. Probably put a degree wheel on them, see where they're at. Pistons, everything's clean enough. I can still read the part number on the pistons looking through the plug hole. That oil filter is not mine. That came on there. It's pretty beat up. Just looks like it's got some years of use on it. I got mine over there, which I'll work with the oil relocator. Trying to think what else. I mean, yeah, I had to order some fittings because there is some stuff on the bike. I'm going to redo like that braided line, the raw steel braid is going to go away, and I'm going to replace it with some jacketed AN braided line, the black stuff. Mostly that's just a cosmetic deal. I got a bunch of fittings and hardware, and I got a mess going on. I said I was going to do this in the last video, I think. I need to start sorting out all of this hardware. This is becoming a mess. But it has been kind of handy because I've been digging through and using little bits and pieces that I had on the 1000 motor that actually do work on this. I do need to make a block off for the cam position sensor. I don't run a cam position sensor. The gear position sensor, same plug as the 1000. So I should be able to connect that up, and then I'll recalibrate the ECU. Let's see what else. I got rid of the stator off the side in this cover here. I got just a crank pickup here. I'm going to replace these wires because of typical fashion with age. They start getting brittle and cracking down at the base here and then exposing bare wire. So I'm going to replace that stuff. I'll solder some new ones into the pickup itself. The head is actually, I don't know what it has for hardware. The guy I got this motor off didn't build it. He got it from somebody else that built it. So there's been some stuff kind of, you know, lost in translation. Some details I need to just kind of figure out. The head is actually, it's a really nice looking unit. It's ported up and it's good looking. Let's see if I can give you a glimpse here quick. If I can get my tape job off. Bear with me. That stuck better than I thought it was gonna. Here we go. Let me get a flashlight. And kind of take a peek down in there. I mean, it's done nice. It's a real good looking port job. So, kind of excited about that. Not sure what's in it for valves or valve springs or nothing. I guess we could try to figure it out, but I'm not really too concerned. I'm gonna finish going through this thing. I want to get it flipped over. Double check some. I've gone through. I've had all the covers off the side let me reset. I've had all of the covers off the sides of the motor and just inspected stuff, looking for gaskets that need to be replaced, hardware that doesn't match or anything. Nothing's really jumping out at me, but I'm going to get it flipped upside down, get the oil pan off because it does need a windage tray put into it. The guy I got the motor from did say he took the windage tray out for his project, so he gave me the heads up. It will need a windage tray. It's not a fancy part. I can just order one up. So I'll get one coming, but I'm going to get the motor upside down, get the pan off, look at the innards a little bit closer, see what we got to work with. But everything I have seen so far, I'm real happy with the purchase. Like I got, you know, I was worried I was going to have to buy a clutch cover. It came with that, which is awesome. It's just this piddly stuff. I've already gone through, and because of how I got the frame notched, I had to kind of monkey with the cam chain tensioner because the frame is actually my boxed and part of my frame comes through here. I could have made the boxed area a little bit bigger so this clears better, but I just went through and kind of low profiled out my cam chain tensioner so it doesn't really take up much space without really affecting how it works. I got a fitting coming for this that'll actually number 10 AN that'll connect up to the plumbing that's already on the bike. This is already in the same location as the 1000 roughly. I drilled and tapped the breather cover for my crankcase pressure sensor. What else? We got, let's see, on this side, I went through and I found, it's not the one I'm going to run. I didn't have a sprocket or nothing on this motor when I got it. I put a sprocket on there that I had from this Busa just to start mocking stuff up hardware-wise to see what I need, what I have. My titanium sprocket nut fit on here yet. My pickup for the speedo sensor. DME water pump block off. I still have to get the front sprocket cover with the slave cylinder in it for the hydraulic clutch. I got to get one of them coming. What else? Yeah, little wedge pan on it. Nice unit. So my plan for today, and that's kind of what I've been doing the last few days now, is go through a few more things on this. And I already have the mock-up motors gone. It's sitting over there. So that can go back to NEM now next time I see them, or hopefully at the first race I can see NEM. But I'm ready to kind of put a motor in this thing. And as you can see over here, this little step in the frame here, this notch. In a perfect world, I could have probably brought this back a little farther, and that would have left a little more clearance for that cam chain tensioner. But it's sort of right in this area. This pocket's not super deep, but I just decided to, give myself a little more room ahead of time instead of getting this start fitting this into the chassis and find out that it bonks something over there. But in all honesty, if you look at the bolts back here, that notch in the frame barely comes over to this bolt. And then from the face out, because I put some button heads in there, I'll still have about a 1/4 inch to that notch. But, just little things I'm trying to work with. When I was doing the mock-up motor, I didn't have a cam chain tensioner in there. I guessed on the distance based off of what I measured on this one. And I just cut it too close. Well, I cut it too close in the sense that it'll still work. And I just didn't. I could have given myself a little more wiggle room. But, yeah, for now, I'm going to flip this over, go through the oil pan side of things. What else? Yeah, if everything looks good, I'm going to put it in the bike, and then we can start making some connections. Got her flipped over, started looking things over. Pretty happy with what I'm seeing. Only thing I have to do is I need to add my oil temp sensor. So I'm going to go into the pan here, and there's a nice flat spot right there. So I'm going to go ahead and drill and tap that. And that'll end up putting the sensor roughly, let me look, right in this right here. Be right there, so it'll be sticking out underneath everything. It's about, 5 inches in front of that lower motor mount bolt, which brings me over here. So it'll be sitting right about there, which gives me the perfect spot to plug in. I got my lead here is a little bit extra long now because it used to run to the back side of the old oil pan. I don't have that room now because this pan is such a low profile that it doesn't fit in front of that motor mount boss. So we're just going to move it off to the side and go from there. So for now, I'm going to get that drilled and tapped, and then we'll start mocking a few more things up. So I took a 2-hour break after I did this and went and tried to watch the start of the Daytona 500, and that got rain delayed. But yeah, so there's where the oil temp sensor ends up, right there. Bingo bango. I am not going to put that in today. I thought for sure, I'm like, you know what, I'm going to get it in the chassis and I'm going to start hooking some stuff up. I'm still waiting for some other odds and ends I ordered to get here. I do need an oil pan gasket, and I ordered the baffle. So I think instead of just rushing stuff, I'm going to get everything I need to do the bottom, or tie up the bottom half of this deal before I flip it over and put it in the bike. So slightly delayed for now, but I think what I need to do at this point is start consolidating this mess. It's just a lot going on right now, and it's never like this. So I got trays of hardware everywhere. I think I'm going to, I guess over there, it's everywhere. It's just a lot, but I think I'm going to clean up some stuff quick. Well, this video is going to suck because I started out with plans and that changed. But as you can see, I got a lot of stuff cleaned up. We're down to just the bare bones. That's a box full of rods. So I got some different style Carrillo rods, some Crowler rods, and I think that's it. I got like 3 or 4 sets. None of them are complete. I'm going to go through those sets and see if anybody wants to start buying individual rods, maybe to complete their sets. But this whole thing turned into I wanted to get the motor in the bike, which turned into maybe I'll wait because I'm going to do a few other things to it. Why rush things? Maybe I'll clean the garage up a little bit. It turned on to a full-blown get rid of all my 1,000 parts, purge, and get the bench cleaned up. So I'll show you what I got going on here. So this bench was previously all of my, well, not all of, but a lot of the 1,000 parts were still on here. There was cases, a crank, 2 heads sitting over here. I still have 1 head left I'm gonna hold on to that for a bit because that's still a good 07, 08 head with all good valves, springs, retainers. That's kind of a nice piece. I might just disassemble and part out. We'll see. Box of rods I gotta sort out. I got some line and stuff. Line and fittings showed up, so I did get my breather fitting I needed there. So the motors flipped back over. So that was like the one thing I got done. But this bench, as you can see, was just a mess of stuff. I managed to break everything down into just 2 bolts of bins. Yeah, look at all the bins in there. 2 bins of just bolts. I'm going to sort through that, I like separate the stuff out. And this is about all I got left of the 1000 stuff that I'm going to sort through that I can still kind of use. It's not 1000 specific stuff, it's just stuff that was on it when it was still a 1000 that I can kind of sort out. Like my scavenge pump is still in there. I guess there is some 1000 trans parts. The shift drum that I polished up, and some billet shift shafts or hardened shift shafts with forks on it. So there's some good parts in there that I can sort out and maybe see if somebody needs some of that. We'll see. But yeah, this video is going to suck because it's nothing of what I intended when I started filming. I got the bench cleaned up over there, some cardboard to break down, but yeah. I wasn't kidding when I said I was doing a full-blown purge. That's the Busa mock motor, that's not mine. Here's what I'm getting rid of. Some 03, 04 cases. They actually could be usable. That one's got kind of a short deck on it. Thick head gasket might take care of that. One head is off of a grudge bike from some piece of shit down south that raffled off a bike that they decided to port the valve seats out of the head as well. So there's a good grudge head that's ported if anybody wants that. Needs seats put in it. To me, it's not worth doing. There's a unported, untouched 07, 08 head that I nipped between the cylinders on it that I started to weld up and never finished out. Somebody wants that, they can have it. Doctor up between the cylinders, surface it out, use it. That's a set of 03, 04 cases that I was running. I think they're still usable, good cases. I'll give this shit away. There's a crank that measures up slightly undersized, but it's never had a spun bearing or nothing on it. So this stuff is going to go in the scrap bin at work unless somebody local wants to come and grab this crap. I think I have more Canadians watch this stuff than anybody local, but I still have, I think, 1 or 2 more sets of cases in my basement that are not usable as they are, but if somebody wanted to send some cases out to get sleeved, they can have that crap as well. I just want it gone, like, now. This stuff, I'm tired of it being in my way. And I gotta, yeah, like I said, this shit's gonna go in the dumpster. So it ain't much, but, you know, sometimes you just gotta reset and get things cleaned up so you can be productive again. You know, a couple hours here and there is all it takes to get this stuff done. And I didn't start on this thing until after, I don't remember when I started on this. I've been sitting all winter. I don't remember when I started cutting on the frame. I have to go back and look at my videos and see what the dates were that I started notching that thing out. Maybe it was before Christmas a little bit sometime, because I think I got delayed by Christmas and New Year's. But yeah, you know, sometimes it's not all glamorous, high productive stuff. Sometimes it's coming out with high hopes, and next thing you're just cleaning bolts of bins and what? Bins of bolts, and just kind of doing a reset. So sorry, next go around hopefully I'll have a few more things, and that motor will actually be going in the bike. I should have pretty much everything I ordered that I kind of want to finish up for the detail-y stuff on there. It should all be here this week, so next weekend could be a little more of a productive event. So we'll see you then.